Most popular shonens in this era that also have the title Dark Trio by their dark stories and are beloved by their fans, like Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man and Hell's Paradise. And I'm here to compare them by their anime adaptation that we got so far. I won't go into the manga spoilers, so don't worry about that. Now, let's begin, shall we? Hell's Paradise is a story of extraordinary fighters going to the island of beauty and death. The worst of the worst criminals alongside the most honorable samurais that Japan has to offer. Where the show really shines is by going with deep messages from the very first episode and consistently delivering more of them through the show alongside episodically fighting scenes that are actually not bad at all. Fights here are not only fanservice, but actually every fight has a meaning in the story with proper build-up and conclusion, and of course very interesting world building. Adding Taoism with beauty and ugliness in this world, in humans and overall in the nature around us, and yes, very interesting and entertaining characters. What could possibly sound better than this? Chainsaw Man is weird in a good way. Characters are iconic and multi-layered, absolutely greatly done mystery and top-tier action with very interesting and scary bad guys. Absolute masterclass at subverting expectations and just incredibly unpredictable and a lot of details in the characters and their motivation. Top-tier comedy and horror, and it's not even a comedy or horror, it's just Chainsaw Man. Right guys? Jujutsu Kaisen, the pinnacle of popular manga, and the story is a mess. It's such a mess that it's incredibly memorable, and the scenes, the dialogues, the characters, they're all incredibly memorable. Sometimes it's seriously childish and sometimes it gets very serious. If you ask me what emotion is the most present when you watch the show, I would say almost every. Frustration, hype, shock, what the fuck, tragic and sometimes just speechless. Personally, I read Hell's Paradise manga and I really enjoyed it. I'm a fan of Chainsaw Man anime because I didn't read the manga, and with JJK I'm gonna be honest, I was going with season 2 just because I can say that it's not a good story even at its pinnacle. And oh boy, was I wrong. It actually became special, don't get me wrong, even season 2 is full of flaws, but god damn it, sometimes it gets its own peak fiction moments. Let's take an example of graph of, I don't know, Villain Saga and Attack on Titan, cause they're really good shit to watch and that they rarely go below 8 out of 10. It's mostly very good shit and JJK looks like this, sometimes 4, sometimes 3 and sometimes 11 out of 10. It's just inconsistent, like, Gege, dude, do you actually care for your story or not? And I was incredibly surprised how the second season ended, so I started reading the manga just to be disappointed again. Like, I really tried to like JJK, I really did, but dude, I read 6 chapters in after Shibuya arc and I dropped it. It was more disappointing than Attack on Titan manga ending, if you ask me. But with that one on the side, I will compare it with the rest of the Dark Trio with my emotions on the side, because JJK have its own strong points and deserve to compete with those two legends. And I won't compare animation and music since the same studio made all 3. It's just a question of budget and did the staff really care for the project enough, so I will skip those 2. Now, let's start with a comparison. JJK does have its interesting characters. Some are complex, some are not. Some got incredible development, some are just great by their charisma and unpredictability, like Sukuna. I mean, Sukuna is not a complex character, but he's hella entertaining, edgelord, and the characters that tries to be more than 2D characters are kinda boring. Not all of them of course, but god damn, I don't really care about those 2 lowbirds. But sometimes the characters actually start getting serious about their arcs, and that ends up being great. Until they fucking die. And that is also great. It's just sad that characters become interesting and relatable right before they die, but at least we got something. Yay. Okay. Chainsaw Man has an incredible cast of characters. I didn't ask for Himeno to be so multi-layered and in such little screen time, like, wow. Makima's a factory of mystery and unpredictability. It used to be okay, like, we're safe, Makima is here. And now it's like, oh shit, Makima is here. Power is just a mess and that actually works somehow, and Aki is right the opposite, the two totally opposite extremes that live together, and the show actually balanced those two incredibly well. Since it's so easy to lose with characters like that, alongside great supporting characters that just make the story richer. And Hell's Paradise has a big cast of characters, and most of the characters' author is playing safe with them. Their motivations, their characteristic development, and that is done very good. Characters are good, but there is one that feels like he's not playing safe. He stands out pure chaos with intelligence. It's almost impossible that he's not your favorite character. He's a multi-layered good villain that eats, kills, and bangs monsters. Sounds like a gut a little bit. But yeah, it will be so easy for him to be the protagonist of the show and not to the Kabimaru. Well, but winner is Chainsaw Man, cause they're really great, with timing of finding out details about the characters, and it's not like we found more and more about them in episode level. JJK is just a mess, and Hell's Paradise feels like that it's just playing too safe. It feels like it just needs a little bit more spice in the characters. But not too much to get too spicy, to not end up like JJK, and Chainsaw Man is exactly that. This is a tough one since they're all unique in their own ways. Kabimaru is layered from the very first episode. He already is very strong, but his journey is not the one of achieving greatness and becoming stronger, but actually to become quote-unquote weaker. Not hollow but stoic, and most of all kind. The opposing ideology inside of him that are battling each other, other Kabimaru the hollow, called serial killer without emotions and absolute professionalism, or Kabimaru who is human and who is kind. Denji is like a monkey, who barks but still very likable. He's super simple but never fails to impress with being unpredictable. He's cold and sometimes goes full villain mode. No honor in him, and yet he's relatable to some extent. What is his character about? I don't know, but it's fun to look at him exploring the world and himself, so I'm excited to see where will his character lead. And Itadori Yuji, in the first season he wasn't anything special. He was super talented and his training was watching movies. He improved very quickly. If you ask me, it's way too quick. And his character had many flaws in writing, but let's put that aside because he shined in the second season. All three characters have experienced close death situations and that changed them, but for Itadori, the change was the biggest. Denji became full cycle, Kabimaru humbled, and Itadori is the drastic change. He still didn't give up, and then his senpai died right in front of him, and still didn't give up. He struggled and gave his best, and then he got a massive punch in the gut again. And he couldn't get on his feet again. He had enough. Until someone reminded him why is he here, and what is he doing here, and what is where his character truly started to shine. Now what gets to this point is very hard. This feels like a battle between Kabimaru and Itadori since we know what they are doing for narrative of the story, unlike Denji with only one season. Or I don't know, I didn't get it. Maybe you did. If you did, let me know in the comments. So now let's go in full details to get the winner. For Itadori, it took a season and a half for his character to start taking seriously, while Kabimaru got that effect in the very first episode. Unpopular opinion, but I go with Kabimaru. Kabimaru wins this one. Hell's Paradise have its own antagonist. First it's other criminals, and then we got Lord Tensons, and the whole squad of them. They do their own personalities alongside that they are total psychopaths, and that they are mastering this spiritual power called Tao. For being so powerful, we don't know much about them for now, so they are kinda average antagonists for now. JJK also have its squad of antagonists, and most of them are mid. I mean, Jogom got his moment, Dragon just got some screen time and died quickly, nothing special of him. Mahito is hateful and not much in his character until we got the wolf and rabbit scene. But we do have three very promising antagonists, and those are Sukuna, the second is Suguru Geto, and his arc is over. God damn it was great. Unfortunately, one of the best developments we got. Unfortunately, because we should have more of those, and the third antagonist who is great is Toji, who is absolutely great character, and we are also done with him, so yeah, those three are great. And now Chainsaw Man. When they declared their antagonist, that's when I witnessed one of the greatest villains introduction in fiction.
Got it.
They were shocking, scary, they turned the whole story upside down, and goosebumps by their voice actor, just absolutely incredible what they did with them, and the fact that we found out that in the end of the season, they were not such a big deal made the world of Chainsaw Man that much more scarier. In fact, Makima, damn, we don't know anything about her, and she feels like a top tier antagonist just by the fact that we don't know anything about her. That technique of fear of unknown antagonist was used by Johann Lieber in Monster. He was actually more scary because we knew so little about him, and the story more interesting because we were investigating his character through whole show. I'm not saying that Makima is better than Johann, but they do have similarities by being manipulative monsters. And yet, once again, JJK fails to get this point because one side of antagonists are not as good as the other, and just JJK is shooting its own foot again. Chainsaw Man wins this. Chainsaw Man doesn't have much of development into characters for the first season. It's more about knowing them better, but we could say that Denji does have a little bit of development going on, and maybe Power and Kobeni, and that's all pretty much. House Paradise, Gavimaru and Sagiri have sweet development going on, but nothing spicy for now. If someone have development going on, it's Suguru-Geta, Gojo a little bit, and Yuji. Sure, some of the other minor characters too, but they're the main ones. Geto surely have the best development going on than any other characters in JJK. And finally, I can say that JJK gets this point with its 2 seasons and a movie versus those with 1 season, but surely JJK deserves a win. House Paradise has a very interesting world that we as an audience are exploring alongside characters, all the danger, all the beauty and the lore of the island. Great writing forward in general, and still the intense mystery of how does it actually work and what are the tensions and what are their purpose there. Now we have a problem with Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen since they do have similar worlds. We have a powerful enemy and characters are using bits of their power to fight them, and the catch is that politics of higher-ups are actually more evil than those beasts themselves. The system that runs everything is wrong, so again I will need to compare the details of those two to get the winner. In both cases, in fights we got a lot of damage on the buildings and nature around. In Chainsaw Man we actually see that people are trying to fix those damages, and we see cooperation with police for maximum safety for the civilians. We don't really get that until the whole Shibuya just disappeared in one night and hundreds or even thousands got killed when we see that government and news are actually doing something when it comes to curses. Like, how can you keep a secret of an evil that exists for thousands of years and that people actually fight it? In Chainsaw Man, people are aware of devils and the devil hunters will protect them, or at least they will try. But in JJK we get deeper in politics between Gojo and Zenin clan and why are they fighting each other so much, and yeah, now is the question between House Paradise and Chainsaw Man. This is purely subjective, but I will go with Chainsaw Man, because in House Paradise we expected it to be fucked up and brutal, and in Chainsaw Man we didn't. They got us off guard with the truth about the world, and it still feels that we know nothing. I probably don't need to explain why power system in JJK is not good. There are a ton of information and details that we just don't get, or timing of delivering information is wrong, or just it feels like an author is throwing around the bullshit as he likes. The characters can do this, but wait, I just made up that his rival have this special power that is super effective in those situations. But wait, these dudes have unhuman reflexes here. Reflexes here. But wait, these dudes have unhuman reflex. Hehe. It's so disrespectful for the audience, but there are some situations where those flaws do not happen, and those moments usually end up being big fiction. Chainsaw Man got really interesting, creative and balanced power system. Their contracts with the devils, their hearts, those who are neither devils nor humans, and interesting designs with interesting abilities. Very nice, yes. House Paradise uses Tao as primary reason for supernatural strength or powers, also called ninjutsu, that is like an application of using Tao. It does explain Tao, and it kinda does make sense that is neither the force or focus. Tao is more about balance. balance of soul, strength, and weakness. I don't know much about Taoism. Heck, everything I know of Taoism is learned by reading a manga, but I'm surely interested in Tao because anime does try to explain it to those who know nothing about it, like me. Its spiritual meaninglessness and morals. This point goes to Hell's Paradise. What is a good shonen without good action scenes? And by the way, I made a video on how to write good fighting scenes, so you can check it out if you've seen Blue Eye Samurai, link in the description. Hell's Paradise, with the weakest animation of those three, doesn't have bad action scenes at all. They are all important for the story and the characters, and it's not glorified. Actually, there is one really good scene that stands out from many others, where Gabimaru is pushed to the edge and where he starts to doubt everything that happened that week. Was it all truth, or is everything here a dream? And where he doubts will he succeed for the very first time ever. He had those shonen protagonist mindset, I will do anything to achieve my goal, but here actually he lost. He was like,
ごめん。もしかしたら帰れないかも。
Gentlemen also have really great action scenes with much better quality in movements and animation. It also is telling a lot about characters and their motivations. Very good. By JJK, I mean JJK. Don't get me wrong, it also has straight up unimportant action scenes and some are over the top, but goddamn those action scenes. Sukuna versus Jogo, Yuji versus Choso, Yuji versus Mahito, so goddamn those. Those are just masterfully done fighting scenes. Yes, point goes to JJK. Now to declare a full winner, let's go with the one last fight. Overall, what is a better written show? I stopped watching JJK seriously in the first season because of amount of disappointment that it got. Like panda is not a panda, catching a ball in the middle of the air and so on. That start was very promising, that is for sure, and with that bad start point, it's hard to be called a good written show. And now we can move on. Chainsaw Man is a shonen masterpiece. Everything that it does right. Twists, common tropes, and even boring stuff, they managed to make it entertaining. Hell's Paradise is a very good show, not too many plot holes, not bad at all, but it does have some little flaws and some things were predictable in it, and so on. The winner is Chainsaw Man. Woohoo! If you disagree, let me know in the comments so that we can have a healthy debate over it. And also on that way you are supporting this video and my channel, so I will be very grateful. Hope you like this video and that you are not too mad about my judgment, and have a great day. See you, bye bye.